Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. Today we are back in Reno, back at our house here. As you can tell, I got my bike rack here that I brought back from my parents' house. If you haven't seen that last video, I'll post a link right up in the corner here. Take a look at that one. I also did a bike check on my Trek 3700 mountain bike in that video. So take a look at that. You'll see my bike rack a little bit more in detail in that video. Otherwise, today what we got going on, obviously I have my wife's bike here. As you can tell, still in bubble wrap. Haven't really gotten to the point of unpacking everything. I have taken a look at my bikes though, and my 3 bikes are actually in pretty good shape. They did pretty good on the way here, other than being wrapped in bubble wrap and the pedals taken off. Everything looks good with those. My wife's bike, on the other hand, I had a couple issues, looks like, on the way over. Number one is this right here. Yeah, that's not very good. That looks like it is from this fender here. Looks like it got pushed into a certain direction, and then over the heat of being in that container for a month, it looks like it kind of warped to that certain shape where now it's rubbing the tire all the time. There are a couple of issues I'm going to look at here, but first thing we need to do, we need to get this unwrapped, bubble wrap, so we can start looking at this thing, start checking everything out, start functioning as it should, so we can get rid of everything that could be making the noise other than that. So, give me just a minute, we'll get this all changed. Alright, so got everything all removed. All the bubble wrap is off. So first thing I'm going to do, we're going to start getting this fender off here. Pretty quick and easy. I think there are 4 of these zip ties. Let's see here. There's 1, 2. By the way, if you didn't see the video where I installed this is a gravel bike fender from Barfly Bike. It's called the Dirt Fly, DRT Fly. They're cool little fenders. I also have them on my dirt jumper. I got the Mud Fly, which is their mountain bike specific one, and I have some for my road bike. I just never got quite to the point of installing those on the road bike, but they all have had installs. If you haven't checked those out, I will post a link in the description below, as well as up in the corner here. So you guys take a look at that video, see all the videos of installing those fenders on the mountain bikes, or all the bikes really. So with this one, yeah, so it was rubbing right here. That's where it got tweaked. So really this one here, I'm going to take these zip ties off, and I am going to try and get this to flatten back out. See if I can get it to come back to life, and if it comes back to life, cool, I'll put it back on. Let's see here. Flatten that a little bit there. There we go. Alright. So that right here, I'm just going to leave right over here so that can just flatten out in the heat, because that gets really warm right there during the day. Alright. It's got everything that was making the noise off. That wheel looks good. I don't know if you guys can quite hear that noise. So that is the front disc brake rubbing on the pads. So one thing you want to do when you travel or you pack your bike is make sure if you have your front wheel off that you have a spacer in between your pads. Due to how quickly and how things got packed when we were loading our bikes, wasn't sure whether I was going to load them with the wheel on, I was going to take the wheel off, what was going to go on. So my disc brake pads were already inside of my container, like way in the back, so I didn't have that opportunity to put those on when I took the wheels off. So this one, since I had the wheels off, it looks like somehow this brake lever, which doesn't even really pull, somehow got pulled, and so the brake pads have kind of squished on that rotor to the point where they're rubbing all the time. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take this wheel off. I'm going to show you a very simple way to spread those back out, get you back on the road without that rubbing noise. So give me 1 minute here. I'm going to get my correct tools, and we'll get working on here. All right, so I got you guys right up close here to the disc brake caliper. So as you guys can see, I'm not quite sure you can see, so there's your disc brake pads right there, and those are way too close together. Those are totally rubbing on the rotor itself. So this is what I was talking about here. This is it's a disc brake pad separator. This pretty much goes in between your pads. Make sure that when you pull the lever, it doesn't squeeze your brake pads together like this, and it keeps them separated when you have the wheel off. Normally I carry one of these anywhere, like my truck with my fork mount racks. I carry these with me in there so I can mount them up. However, like I said, I just didn't have them at the time when I packed these bikes up. Pretty much with these, what you do is you Squeeze them right in between here. And there we go. So it fits right in between, and then you can kind of push back on the pads to kind of squish them back into their places. Let's see. Let's pull that out. And that is much better. That is much, much better. Let's see. Let's try that one more time right down here at the bottom. Ugh. All right, that should be much better. I don't know if you can see that, but they are quite a bit more spread apart. This here actually spreads in nicely now. It's not like a pain to get in and out like it was before. So we're gonna get this front wheel back on. We'll see if that fixed the issue we're having with our front brake. So I got my wheel back on here. I did have to make a couple small adjustments to the caliper itself to kind of move it over a little bit. And then I did have to kind of tweak the rotor in a couple little spots to get it to line up right. But now, no noise at all. That's great. If you guys are looking for more information on how to adjust your disc brakes, I did do a video on installing, let's see what it'll be, installing the Shimano disc brake on my dirt jumper, and then I also did some on bleeding the brakes on the dirt jumper, the old Avid brakes that are horrible. But I did show you how to bleed brakes on there. Post a link up here as well as in the description, so you can take a look at those if you want to know more about adjusting disc brakes. But that's just a simple way. If your pads get too close together, you can pop them apart. Worst case, if you really need to, you can get a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and kind of pop them apart that way. I don't recommend that way because it does sometimes damage the pads themselves. But as long as there is no noise, all is good. So moving on from the disc brake, as you can tell, there's another thing missing. We're missing pedals. And then we got to do some basic maintenance. Her chain's getting a little rusty because she hasn't used it in a long time. But other than that, her bike should be in pretty nice shape. All right, so I'm going to bring you guys back here, and we are going to grease the chain, make sure it goes through all gears still. After that, we're pretty much done. Just doing basic maintenance on the bike today and showing you kind of some basic tips and tricks. So I'll get you back here, I'll grease the chain up, make sure it goes through all the gears, then we're all set. All right, so here we are at the drivetrain of the bike. So I don't know if you can quite see it. Let's see, here's some bad ones right here. I'm trying to point them out in the video. Her chain is starting to rust some. That's just because she doesn't ride as much as she used to, obviously. She had we had her daughter, so that kind of put a stop on certain things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this chain all lubed up. That's what I like to use here, Muck Off Dry Lube. This is the one I've been using in Hawaii. And here in Nevada, it's dry and damp. So I mean, we're getting into the winter here, so I mean, it's definitely dry in the desert. So we're gonna try this stuff. I have some other stuff that I really like, the White Lightning Clear. I can't remember what it's called exactly. I ran out of it a long time ago. They sell it at Walmart. So I'm probably gonna get some of that because I love that stuff in California. That stuff lasted forever and worked great. It was like a wax lube that went on. So I'm probably gonna get that, but this is what I have right now. This works fine. So what I like to do is right here, this is the quick link, so your quick disconnect link. What I like to do is I like to start right there, and I just like to put a drop on every single link, and starting on that master link there, the quick link, the best thing, that the reason you start there is that you know when you've done the whole chain. When you come back around that, all right, now we spin it just a little bit more so we can get down over here. All right, so what we're gonna do, you're going to run this through the gears, make sure it shifts nice and smooth. Now we're gonna tighten this up just a little bit. All right, and then once we're done running it through there, you can see there's still a little bit left on there, so you go ahead and grab a rag here. And we're just going to wipe off the excess here, especially since this is going in the house. That way it's nice and clean. And it's not gonna make a mess anywhere. There we go, we'll just kind of wipe down any excess that might have sprayed anywhere. Just wipe down the chain, stay here. All right. All right, and that's her bike all set for you. All right, so that's gonna be it today, guys. We did our basic maintenance. Check out my wife's Specialized Ariel here. Got the front disc brake working as it should again. We got the rear gears all set. Put pedals back on. Pretty much got the bike back in working order. So everything is all set for her to go ride. Is she gonna ride right away? No, but it's all set for her if she wanted to go ride. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go down below, give it a big like. I do enjoy doing these basic bike maintenance videos, kind of showing you guys some tips and tricks that I've just picked up over the years. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did and you're looking forward to more content, hit that subscribe button down below and hit the notification icon, the little bell icon next to that, so you're notified every time I upload. That way you know when this cool stuff comes out. Any questions, comments, please post them below in the comment section below. I read them all and respond to you. Greatly appreciate your support. Until next time, see you later.